So I try to keep my head in the frame as much as possible here. So yesterday I told you that we got our incubator set up for our eggs. I let it warm up for 4 hours, got the humidity correct, got the temperature correct. I had to get 5 more eggs out of the coop. I think I had 17. This thing holds 22 eggs. So this has been in operation for 24 hours now. This is an automatic spinner, and I'm going to show you how to spin it real quick. But that does it automatically. You don't have to push the button. And so this morning was the first time I actually caught it spinning. So it's doing its job correctly. So we got it all set up. This little flap thing here, you pour water in that every 24 hours, and that keeps the humidity level where you need it. There's a little gate here. This is the only thing I don't like about the incubator is I wish the humidity was automatic. But you got to adjust this gate based on what the humidity is. But it does tell you what the humidity is. So there's the temperature. We raised it to 105 degrees. It comes preset at 99.5 degrees. But we looked it up and we felt like the 100 was a better idea, the 100.5. And then we got a humidity of 54. 55 is max until there's 3 days left. And then you're supposed to raise it to 70% humidity. That way the inner layer, you got the shell, then there's this little plastic rubbery substance on the inside called the membrane. If that gets too thick, the chickens can't break through it. So you keep the humidity high, that keeps that moist and keeps it from getting too hard. We had that problem when the hen was raising the chicks from eggs. 2 of them didn't hatch correctly because they couldn't get through the membrane. I broke open the membrane on one of them so it would help get through. But they both died. The other 2 was successful, and they're in here in this cage that we got. I've been really worried about this, as you know, about the amount of electricity it was going to take. It said 50 watts. Well, once I got it home and I realized, and once we ordered it and it showed up, I realized the 50 watts meant that when the heater is on, it runs like a refrigerator. The heater kicks on for a little while and then shuts off. The refrigerator does the same thing, kicks on for a little while and shuts off. So 50 watts isn't a true number. When it's in idle, the little fan is running and the spinner isn't spinning, it's more like 10 watts. So last night, I let it get dark. It was 8 o'clock. I went down to the camper and I thought, oh my goodness. Normally when I walk down to the camper, you know, I close up the chicken coop, I go in the camper, see how the electric's doing. Normally it's at 12.8 volts at 8 o'clock. Well, last night it was at 12.5, and I thought, oh my goodness, we're not going to make it through the night. So Carolyn and I talked about what we were going to do. We can tell when we're about ready to run out of electricity, the refrigerator doesn't want to start up correctly. And we can hear it. I mean, it just makes a terrible noise. We both can wake up. So what we decided is if we ran out of electricity, either we would turn off the refrigerator for the remainder of the night, or I would get up and start the generator and let it run through the night until we could come up with a better solution today. The optimal solution was just shut off the refrigerator. The food isn't going to thaw out that quickly. And then when I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I can start the generator, turn the refrigerator back on, everything's fine. We've done that in the past when we've used too much electricity. We just shut off the refrigerator 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then I get up at 5 and turn it back on. So before I went to bed at 8 o'clock, I started the generator and let the batteries charge all the way up from about 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. It was cloudy yesterday, so I guess, oh, they're rotating by themselves. That's the second time I caught it, and we caught it on camera this time. So it was cloudy, and I guess we didn't get a very good charge. Also, the refrigerator ran a lot yesterday for some reason. We put a juice in there, a bottle of juice, and I'm guessing that was making it run more. Plus, we had this thing running, and it had to heat up. So cloudy, we had 3 things going against us. It was cloudy, this was heating up, and the refrigerator ran a lot. So started generator, ran it for an hour and a half, charged the batteries completely full. 9:30, I shut off the generator, put everything back on the battery. Got up this morning, and the batteries were at 12.3 volts, which is fine. I mean, that we didn't go below 12.3. 12.3 volts means that the lead acid batteries are at 50%. You're not supposed to let lead acid batteries go below 50%. Normally when I get out of bed, it's 12.4 volts. So we didn't use that much more electricity running this. I thought what we would do is I'd go get another battery just so we can make it through the night if it didn't make it, but I didn't have to. As a matter of fact, we planned on going to town today anyways. We had to get some chicken food. We figured, well, we'll just stop at Walmart and get another battery if we need to. I didn't want to spend the $100 for another battery this month, but if that's what we needed to do, that's what we needed to do, but didn't have to do it. So I'm very relieved. This thing is just amazing. And I've let it run off the inverter. The inverter has a fan on it. And that's what was concerning me so much, is it was going round, 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 round. The fan was kicking on and off. So this thing must surge in electricity. It must not just be a constant electricity, especially with this converter. I talked about that converter the other day. It is doing something strange that I'm not used to hearing, but that's okay. It worked. I'm not hurting the inverter. I've seen the inverter do that before when I run the little laptop computer. When I'm processing a video and it makes the inverter just the same way. So I guess there's something to this converter that makes that happen. Regardless, we made it through the night, so I was very thankful. Well, then we started thinking about, are we saving any money? Because we went and got chicken food today. And I was surprised. I was really surprised. Chicken food was only $13 a bag for the big chickens. $18 for meat bird. Meat bird chicken food has higher protein, so it was $18 for that. We got one bag of that because these are going to be meat birds. And that was actually chick starter, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was chick starter 22%. So it's got medication, and I know a lot of people that don't get the medication. We do, just so we don't have a high dropout rate. It's your preference, and if you don't want to use medicated, that's your business. But we feel that we need to do that. It was $18 for the meat, $13 for chicken. So we started analyzing the cost. Are we saving any money? Now, I know that we are saving money because we're not buying as much food at the grocery store. I know that because we eat eggs. The eggs supplement all our meals, both meals that we eat, lunch and supper. So just looking at peanut butter and bread cost, you buy 2 or 3 loaves of bread every week. So I was eating 2 or 3 sandwiches a day, 4 sandwiches a day of peanut butter. So you got the peanut butter cost and the bread cost. Bread cost $3. That's $12 a week. Pretty easy just in bread. I know somebody's gonna say, why don't you make your own bread? But let's just look at this realistically. By eating the eggs, we're not having to buy the peanut butter. So we added it all up and we found that the chicken food was significantly cheaper than buying bread and that kind of stuff. Then we started just looking at egg cost. If we were just to buy eggs at the grocery store, that's $3 a dozen. And we found that we are still under by about $12 a month on eggs. We eat about a dozen eggs every 2 days. I mean, I'm not going to go through all the math and tell you how much we saved and all that, because that's a lot of boring numbers. But in the end, we're saving a ton of money, which I kind of expected. Now, the other thing is, I've told you in the past that Carolyn's going to start growing our own food for the chickens. Milo and different things. We experimented with that last year by accident. The chickens spilt some fancy food. It's called Fancy Feast or whatever it's called. So they spilt it and it grew. And Carolyn was feeding that to them. It wasn't a lot, but it was a nice snack for them. So I think that this year, next year, she's going to start growing that. So that's even going to reduce the cost even more. During this time of the year is this transition period. They are eating more food right now because they're laying eggs. They just need more protein. So during the winter, they don't eat hardly anything. So the way I've been measuring it is during the winter, they were eating about a half of a coffee can full, about half of that. Now they're eating 2 full cans of that each day. Right now, I know I'm going to get people saying, oh, I can't believe you believe in the bird flu. It doesn't matter if I believe in it or not. I just don't want my chickens to get sick. We haven't been letting them go outside. Last year we let them go outside and they could eat the grass and bugs and whatever. Well, the other day I had to put a new chicken coop in there for these little birds. I showed you that in a video 2 days ago. And when I did, I let them out. And they were out 15, 20 minutes and they ate a bunch of grass and bugs and different things. They were quite excited. I haven't let them out in probably a month. So it was a big day for them. And they really gorged themselves. Well, the thing is they only ate 1 coffee can of food that day instead of 2. So in the 15 minutes that they were out, they consumed enough food that I guess they didn't need a lot of chicken food. Of course, they may have even not needed any chicken food or very little if I'd have let them out early in the morning. You know, they get out of bed in the morning and immediately run over to the chicken food. And so if I'd have just let them out straight away, might not even need much food at all. So between letting them out and Carolyn growing food, we are really going to reduce our costs this year. I'm going to start letting them out as the days stop raining so much. And that's the other thing, is the days are going to get longer, and they're going to even produce even more eggs. Right now we're getting anywhere from 7 to 10 eggs per day. I would imagine that we're going to get an egg almost every day as the days get longer and longer, and there's less clouds. Right now it's been cloudy quite a bit, and I know on cloudy days they don't produce as many eggs. It's always the given. On a cloudy day they don't produce as many eggs. Yesterday they produced 9. It was nice and sunny. The day before, 9, nice and sunny. I think the day before that it's sunny and they produced 9. Today I can guarantee you we'll get probably 6 or 7 eggs. So the reason I'm bringing all this up is I think my parents have been listening to me, both my mom and my father, and they are actually starting to think about raising chickens, both of them. I would recommend at some point incubating your own eggs. Now these are going to be meat birds. We've told you that. We're going to eat them as meat, not eggs. So we'll raise them for 12, 14 weeks, butcher them, and then we'll start another set. I think we'll get 3 batches of eggs per summer. We're not going to try to raise them through the winter. We don't have a heated building or anything. If you had a heated building, that makes it even easier. If you're not relying on solar panels, that makes it even easier. You know, we put most extreme conditions on ourselves here and then tell you how to do it, so and it'd be easier for you because you got everything you need. Again, a lot of people will say, I can't do it. I live in the city. The other day I talked to you about raising chickens in a garage. Been watching Facebook homesteader groups quite a bit, and more people are raising their chickens in the garage. Now, of course, you're going to want to clean that up quite a bit, especially if it's an attached garage. You have a garage attached to your house. Keep some straw in there so they have some bedding. Get yourself some milk crates so they can have a brooding box. If you can click this up next box, it'll take you over to the next video. I'd really appreciate it. So if I can inspire you, try to save cost when you're living your dream. Thanks for watching.